Can simultaneous elections truly unify India's democratic process? Or are we ignoring deep constitutional risks in the rush to reform? In a rare, closed door interaction with the Joint Parliamentary Committee, former Chief Justice of India, Dr. CJI Chandrachud, issued a sharp legal caution to lawmakers, dissecting the One Nation, One Election bill like only a jurist of his caliber can. Let's break down what really happened inside that high level briefing and why it matters to every citizen who believes in democracy. Hello, this is Dr. Arjun Chowdhury, advocate. Today's discussion is not just about election reforms, but about constitutional discipline, federalism, and how much power is too much power for an election body. This analysis will walk you through former CJI Chandrachud's candid observations before the Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Constitution 129th Amendment Bill 2024, also known as the One Nation, One Election Bill. Let's start with what is not unconstitutional. Justice Chandrachud acknowledged upfront simultaneous elections by themselves do not violate the basic structure of the Constitution. In fact, India had synchronized polls from 1950 to 1967. He even cited the 1957 example where several assemblies were preemptively dissolved to align state elections with the Lok Sabha cycle. So, contrary to the popular fear, there is no express constitutional bar on synchronized elections. But that is just one side of the story. The real legal questions arise when we ask, how do you implement it within the existing federal and constitutional design? So here is where Justice Chandrachud raised a red flag. He pointed out two deeply problematic provisions in the bill. First, the Election Commission is given wide powers to modify Part 50 of the Constitution, which deals with elections. In simpler terms, an executive body being allowed to rewrite constitutional provisions without parliamentary oversight. Second, the bill empowers the Election Commission of India to postpone elections to state assemblies if synchronization with Lok Sabha polls become infeasible. Now, here is the crux. Giving the ECI a unilateral power to defer elections or cut short elected terms without legislative ratification is simply anti-democratic. Justice Chandrachud warned that such open-ended authority, which bypasses Article 356, which already outlines how and when a state's democratic machinery can be interrupted. Rather than outright reject the bill, Justice Chandrachud proposed a three-layered remedy to restore balance. ECI may defer elections only for reasons of national security or public order. No vague administrative excuses should be entertained. Any such postponement must be ratified by both houses of the parliament. This introduces democratic accountability. Any delay must be for a fixed limited period only. This ensures time-bound implementation and prevents executive overreach. With these amendments, he argued the architecture could become constitutionally viable. Justice Chandrachud did not stop at structural flaws. He flagged two major constitutional silences in the bill. First, what happens during a national emergency under Article 352? Under the Constitution, both Lok Sabha and state assemblies can have their tenure extended by 1 year during an emergency. But once the emergency ends, how do you realign the election cycle? The bill offers no roadmap, forcing the government to either cut short parliament's term or extend assemblies artificially. Both options raise constitutional concerns. Second, what if a state assembly is dissolved early, say due to a political crisis or loss of majority? These are regular events in India. The bill is silent on whether elections in such cases can be deferred to maintain synchronicity. This is not covered by Article 356 either. In short, everyday democratic processes are being ignored in favor of a one size fits all model. So, Justice Chandrachud concluded with a crisp three-point summary. The principle of simultaneous elections is not unconstitutional. However, excessive powers granted to the Election Commission of India are legally unacceptable. And finally, the bill must address constitutional gaps on emergencies and early dissolutions. His position thoughtfully balanced but constitutionally grounded. The Joint Parliamentary Committee currently examining this bill has 39 members chaired by BJP MP PP Chowdhury. It includes prominent names across party lines. The committee's mandate is to examine the legal, constitutional and administrative feasibility of holding all elections simultaneously from panchayats to parliament. So far, the committee has held consultations with multiple former CJIs and experts. While some support the reform, several former High Court Chief Justices have expressed objections. Let's ask ourselves what is truly at stake. One paper, one nation, one election promises cost saving, logistical efficiency, and voter convenience. But as Justice Chandrachud rightly observed, constitutional discipline cannot be sacrificed at the altar of convenience. Elections are not just events, they are expressions of federalism, local governance, and political diversity. If poorly designed, this reform could centralize power in unprecedented ways, weaken state autonomy, and give unelected bodies undue influence over democratic outcomes. The question is not whether simultaneous elections are desirable. The question is, can we do it without damaging the federal fabric of the Constitution? Justice Chandrachud's intervention is a reminder that good intentions need robust legal frameworks. And when we tinker with the soul of democracy, we must do so with humility, restraint, and surgical precision. That's all for now. This is Dr. Arjun Chowdhury. If you found this analysis valuable, stay tuned for more deep dives into India's evolving legal and constitutional landscape. Until next time, democracy deserves diligence.